Oh, that hurt. I kicked my piano chair. So, I heard some of y'all want to get involved in the aerial arts. Okay, I got you. First of all, what are the aerial arts? I actually have trouble explaining what I do to the average person. Usually I say, oh, it's the stuff they do in Cirque du Soleil. However, one person finally did say,
oh, I know, that stuff that Pink does.
I completely forgot about that performance. So now that's my go-to explanation, the stuff that Pink does. Basically, it's an artistic workout in the air. Yeah. What are the different kinds of aerial arts? This question sucks because I learn about new apparatuses every single day. There's trapeze, there's the cube, there's the martini glass. I can't keep up. I really can't keep up. So we're just gonna focus on the three that I have tried and I'm very familiar with. We have the aerial hammock, which is also called the aerial sling. We have the lyra, which is a loop, and we have the pole. Out of all three of these, I said in my last video that I like the hammock the most. That is still the case, but every now and then I do go back to a lyra class or a hammock class to kind of cross train. I like the hammock because the fabric is soft, it's very intricate, having to tie knots and such. There's also the aerial silks, which some people do confuse with the aerial hammock. The silks are a bit more challenging in my opinion. You have to tie your own knots and rely a lot more on upper body strength than you do the aerial hammock, but both of them still require a good amount of grip strength and just the mental capacity to understand how to wrap and unwrap and things like that. One day I do want to try the aerial silks, but probably no time soon. Some people don't like the hammock because the fabric can get really tight around certain areas of your body. This will go away or get easier as you practice and condition your body and get your skin and muscles used to that tightness. The first time I went, I was in so much pain, but later afterwards, certain spots that I used to feel a lot of pain in, I don't really feel anymore because they're used to the knots. Really, one side of my body is really conditioned. My right side is great. My left side, I usually don't do a lot of wraps on this side, so when I do, it does hurt. So that's that. The lyra, you also feel a lot of pain when you start out, but in a different way. It's a really hard apparatus. Some people prefer it because you don't have to tie any knots. You just get in the pose and move to the next one. But the hardness can cause you to bruise, and again, you just have to get your body used to it. And the pole, again, hard, can cause bruising. Probably the least bit complicated out of both of these, or all three of these, and also the easiest to explain. Everyone knows what the pole is. You tell people you pole dance, they know automatically what you're talking about. You tell people you aerial dance, you tell people you do lyra or the aerial hammock, they're like, psh, what are you talking about? Also, another thing that people confuse the aerial hammock and aerial sling with is aerial yoga. They use a hammock, but it's a 2-point hammock. There's no spinning. It's a lot of swinging, and it's just, the movements are kind of similar, but they're just two completely different activities. The aerial sling or aerial hammock that I use in the aerial arts has 1 point, and you can have a spinner on it, so you have a wider range of things to do, if that makes sense. The aerial lyra is the most popular at my studio, and I actually think out of all of what I see on Instagram, the aerial silks and the aerial lyra are the most popular apparatus. Every now and then I see the hammock or I see pole. I don't hate lyra, I don't hate pole. They're just not my love, I'm just not as into those as I am the aerial hammock, at least for now. How do you find an aerial teacher? I definitely recommend going to a training center. Since COVID has calmed down, everybody should be back open by now. I just searched aerial studio near me and I found the one that I wanted to do at the time. I knew I wanted to do aerial hammock. Signed up for the class and went. Some places offer like membership rates, packages. I do recommend doing just a drop-in class or like a new member package before committing to a membership, because you might not like it. You might be excited, go in and be like, okay, this is not for me. And you don't want to like have that realization after you've signed up for a monthly or yearly membership. So just try it once. And I also do recommend trying more than one apparatus. Sign up for different classes. If you go to hammock and you don't like hammock, go try Lyra. If you don't like Lyra, go try pole, or just try all of them for fun in the beginning, you know. What if there are no aerial training centers near me? So there are people that live in the middle of nowhere. Well, actually, you know, even if you don't live in the middle of nowhere, you can do this at home, kinda. I don't recommend it for your first time. Like, even if you have to drive far, just like try one class before you jump into it at home to just get used to the fabric. There's actually a really good YouTube channel for home aerial called Aerial Practice. I will link her somewhere. She was able to install a rigging point inside of her house. Of course, if you live in an apartment, you might not have that same luxury. If you do decide to do that, definitely consult the professional. Do not try to do that by yourself. There's also pop-up frames for like if you live in the apartment or you don't want to put holes in your ceiling. I have one. It gets up to 8 feet. I think the highest setting is 11 feet, but you'd have to have really tall ceilings. You can also take it outside, but it's pretty heavy, it's pretty expensive. Do your research on the different types of fabric there are. Make sure you're tying the knots correctly, get crash mats. Try to always have at least a spotter with you, especially if you're just starting out. I mean, like after you've done it for a while, I think it's okay to practice by yourself, but when you're just starting out, like have someone there, like just in case you get stuck in a knot or you fall and hurt yourself. Like just really be safe if you do decide to go the at-home route. There are lessons online besides this YouTube channel that I mentioned. You can also like literally sign up for a class, like a Zoom class, and have a teacher live instructing you in the room. So you do have that option, but again, if you can go in person, please do that first. What should I wear? This depends on the type of class you're going to, of course. For the hammock, I'd say cover your armpits, your waist, and all of your leg, especially for the first time, because that fabric does hurt. For Lyra, I'd say cover at least past the elbow. Again, your waist, your back, and your thighs at the very least. For pole, don't really have to wear much at all. The more skin you have out, the better you are to like grip onto the pole, so that's fine. Just don't like wear lotions or anything that can slip. Like you have to go ashy, I'm sorry. Go to class ashy for all of them. Like go to class ashy. How do I prepare? Well, mentally, remind yourself that everyone was a beginner at some point. You're gonna suck.
Hey y'all, as I'm editing this, I realize that I sound mean for no reason. I haven't even been doing this myself for that long, so I'm in no position to be telling you how good or not good you're gonna be. Everything I'm saying here is me projecting and speaking off of my own experience, so please just take it as nothing more than that.
If you don't have a dance, gymnastics, or any type of athletic or artistic background, like it's gonna be really hard to be really good really fast. You will probably struggle. I had like a little bit of a gymnastics background when I started. I did gymnastics till I was like 14, cheerleading until I was like 15. I did like some other sports, but none that would be like related to this when I was in high school. And then in college, I went to the gym, but again, like didn't really do anything artistic. I wasn't really stretching and didn't have much flexibility. But you can get flexible at home. You can condition at home. Just make sure you're stretching as often as possible. Conditioning, push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, like just burning out your muscles, even on the floor. You don't have to have an aerial hammock at home to condition at home. There's lots of different exercises you can do. And lastly, how long does it take to get really good? It depends. Again, it depends on what your background is. Like I said, if you don't really have an athletic background, you might not be, it might take you a longer time to like get used to the movements and to be able to put them together and to look really good. It's also dependent on what you consider good. It's also dependent on how often you're training. I go to class once or twice a week. Like I usually do hammock class every week, no matter what. Every now and then I'll sprinkle in a lyra class, flexibility class, pole class. But I also do the open studio sessions at least 3 times a week. So like my training on the hammock in the studio is about 4 hours a week. And then at home, which I can't really do much because it's 8 feet tall, I do like conditioning. I do about 3 hours. So I'd say like I train for about 8 hours a week. And in my opinion, that's not really enough to get that good. I want to do more somehow. But yeah, like I said, it depends on how often you're training. The more you train, the quicker you'll improve. So yeah. That's it. If you want me to go into more depth about the different apparatuses, or like what to wear and how to prepare, any questions that I missed, if you have those, go ahead and comment them down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please click like and subscribe if you are enjoying this type of content. I will see you in the next one.